Yeah, Lefty Dreisell has passed away. Legendary coach, passed away at the age of 92 this past week in Maryland. He put Maryland Terrapin basketball on the floor. He's the one that recruited Lenny Bias. He built that program. Also coached small college. He did an unbelievable job at Davidson, which is Steph Curry's alma mater. Coached at Georgia State along the way. And a lot of people don't know this. Speaking of three-point shots, he was the father of the three-point shot. He's the one that proposed to college basketball, adopt the three-point basket.
Cool.
And it made a big difference. A great personality. He was really something. Tiger Woods plays the first round, is 8 strokes back, starts the second round at the LA Open and pulls out after a group of holes. Everybody first feared knee, back. He had back spasms at the end of the first round. They are saying that he had a terrible case of the flu for the second round on Friday, and he wound up going to the medical tent there at Riviera and spent 2 hours getting IV. So he was really sick as a dog. At the end of the day, though, he was not competitive at all. And I said this last year, I don't want to see him on the court dragging his leg, limping, and not being able to be competitive. That doesn't do anybody any good. So Tiger Woods is shut down again. This is a great story. Scott Pollard played at Torrey Pines.
Oh, yeah.
Played at Kansas, 10 to 11 years in the NBA, won a championship ring, played with the Cavs, played with Boston, bulk of his career Sacramento. He has got a genetic problem with his heart. And Scott Pollard was hospitalized at the Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville, and they were fearful he was going to die because they could not find a donor for his heart. Now, he's 6'11", 260 pounds, so they needed a heart transplant from somebody who was much bigger. Anyhow, the word got out at midweek. NBA kind of used its influence. They got him a heart. He had surgery Friday afternoon. It's an extensive surgical procedure. And he was in critical condition on Friday. Saturday, he was stable. By noon Saturday, I saw video of Scott Pollard getting out of bed and walking in the hospital. Now, he had he was wired with all this intravenous stuff.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable to see him smile and to walk slowly with a heart that had just been put in 12 hours prior.
Incredible.
Modern medicine is just phenomenal. Now, the biggest thing ahead is what's going to happen this week, and this becomes a big issue because there's great concern because this happens. The body rejects the heart that's been transplanted in. So we'll have to keep our fingers crossed. But what a great story. The NBA just came front and center and made all the medical contacts, and suddenly they got access to a donor from a cadaver who had just passed away, and that was given to Scott Pollard. So
Awesome.
Great story. Really sad story. Chicago Bears legendary defensive tackle Steve McMichael. He's hospitalized. He has ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. He just got voted into the NFL Hall of Fame a couple of weeks ago. He's in critical condition. He's got staph infections. He has a blood infection. He's been in all types of blood transfusions. They hope they can get him home sometime this week. But he was so sick he couldn't go to the Super Bowl to be honored with all the other enshrinees, Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think the saddest aspect, and you talk about Steve McMichael, great defensive tackle for the 85 Bears and the William Perry team and the Mike Singletary team with Ditka and all that, as he gave his life to football, and football's taking his life back now, and that's really sad. One hockey note. This is amazing. The Toronto Maple Leafs stomped the Anaheim Ducks over the weekend in Toronto, 9-2. Auston Matthews had 3 goals, 2 assists. That's 5 points. Auston Matthews has 48 goals in 52 games. This guy is tracking towards a 70-goal hockey season, and he's really, really playing well. So pick a name there. What do you want to talk about, John?
I want to talk about Lefty Dreisell because you said that he invented or at least proposed the three-point shot for the NBA. Walk me through the history of this, because I know college had it before the pros. The ABA had it before the NBA. And did the Harlem Globetrotters have it at one point, or what's the story there?
I don't know that it was called the three-point shot. The Harlem Globetrotters were the Harlem Globetrotters. It was more French pastry than it was steak and potatoes basketball. But Lefty petitioned the NCAA and said, let's devise this. Let's think about this. The ABA had the 3-point shot. ABA also had the colored basketballs.
Right.
And the ABA had the cheerleaders in bikinis. ABA was interesting to watch, but he said, this works. This can help grow our game. And then they negotiated with the rules committee. I think Dean Smith was part of the conversation on the rules committee about how far out it should be. And then all of a sudden, it arrived. And then it came to the NBA. And all of a sudden, you got all these 3-point shooters. And at the end of the day, Lefty Dreisell's name has to be linked with changing the game forever, because the 3-point shot is the great equalizer in college basketball.
Oh, huge.
I may not be able to compete with you when it's aircraft carriers and bigs on bigs, but if I got 3 guys who can stroke from threes, I can sure stay in a lot of games. So the 3-point shot has made the game even more dynamic than it was.
Well, I think that's got to be one of the greatest innovations in any sport, right? When they change the rules to make the game better. I mean, because I can't think of, you have to go way back in time to like think of rules changes that dramatically improve the sport in baseball or football. But this, I love the idea. I mean, I would be open to like having more creativity. Like you see that in some other, like the 3-on-3 games where they have like a special zone. If they shoot it from within that circle, it might be worth more. I say bring some more of that stuff.
Okay. He likes French pastry, as he always has. All right. It is time.